so much for accepting my invitation and very happy to host you and learn from you about energy and the work that you do. So, very exciting topic. So, let's get into it. I want you to quickly introduce yourself to all the audience who's watching this live or on a replay. Where are you? What do you do? Uh, and the topic that you chose to discuss today.
Sure. Thanks, Ranjini, first of all, and thanks to everyone who has taken the time to come live on LinkedIn and on the other platforms. And this is a great opportunity, and I'm more excited because it's my first LinkedIn live. So thanks again for that. Well, I am a life coach, and
Okay.
I have started the stint of this career since last year. I was into corporate career before this, into program management role. This is something which I love to do, and working with people is something as my passion. So I think coaching, listening to people, understanding their problems, not only gives solution to them, but it's a greater learning space for me as an individual because I, as an individual, grow while I listen and I coach a lot of people. And there is so much to learn from each one's journey and to add to my own bucket. So I think that is something which I really enjoy and day in, day out. Yeah.
Hmm. Great.
And I have also been part of an energy healing school called Pranic Healing for the last 10 plus years. So my coaching also integrates the aspect of energy. And as you asked, the topic of today is your be your own energy alchemist. Also arises from the combination of my own life's journey, where energy has played a very pivotal role in who I am today and where I'm trying to go. And choosing this shift in careers of becoming a coach also integrates my learning from the space of energy. So, coaching and energy is a beautiful combination. And when presented to somebody, it really does some miracles in their life. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why this topic today, Ranjini.
Yeah, I know. Like I remember meeting you first, and then we've been talking about like I do the energy work. I do the energy work. So it's been there from the beginning. So how this energy work that I know you chosen to work as well as discuss today. Now, how does this concept gets integrated, or how does it impact a personal growth and development area?
Sure. So, energy in itself is very innate in all of us, right? Especially if we take this topic of energy alchemy. It's all about recognizing that each one of us have enough power to transform ourselves internally in
Hmm.
different states of energy, right?
Yeah.
Just let's take an example of an ancient alchemist. They could actually transform the base metal into gold, right? To take an example from physics. In the same way, each of us in our lives have the innate capability to transform and transmute the lower energies into higher energies. When I say lower energies to higher energies,
Mhm.
is there could be stress. You could transmute stress into calmness. You could, transmute anxiety into harmony. You could transmute anger into compassion. It's all within us. And the entire journey of knowing how to do that is to alchemize that energy within us. And how can you do that is the process of which I provide that as part of my coaching area in the space. And a key, underlying point to all of this is that any transformation, it could be any modality, anything, comes with awareness because if we don't notice what we need to change, and that is where the awareness pops in, we cannot transform. So, in my coaching space, I create a container for noticing the subtle energy patterns that each one of us have and that are usually running on an autopilot mode in most of us. So we think that it's part of our innate character and we're running on an autopilot mode. So here I try and create a space where the energy patterns which are affecting everything in our life, it could be decisions, it could be relationships, it could be our creativity, it could be the way we look at our finances, our resilience at different aspects of our life, all of these things. So that's how the energy and the coaching gets integrated.
Yeah. So, anyways, we are going to dive deeper into what you have been talking about. For many people, this may sound, no, Latin and French and Spanish, but a different language we are speaking when it comes to personal development. But I was speaking to someone today morning, and she, being a healer, she was telling like we come from a common mentors group. So she was telling like it was a reunion kind of a session. So she said coaching was not enough. Like the course of coaching, taking any coaching course was not enough. So she went on to pursue different healing, and been a healer from the beginning. So that kind of maybe fixed got her the she got the pieces of the puzzle together, and now she blends all of that into her practice, how she works with her clients. So pretty much it's a similar work, but how how you can differentiate like the traditional way of coaching and methodologies versus the approach of energy, you know how that, if you can make it make us understand, or maybe tell us how different it can be.
Yeah. So I agree to your point, whatever conversation you had this morning. Honestly, if I reflect back when you were just talking right now, if it would have been pure coaching, I would have taken some time to really understand what it really means. But knowing what energy is and being part of the energy school for last 10 plus years has really integrated and provided the depth of understanding in the space of coaching. So traditional coaching focuses primarily on, to answer your question, on thoughts, the behavior aspects, right, of the client or of the person whom, or the coachee in the language of, coaching. But in energy coaching, there is a lot of inclusion of awareness of sensations, of the emotions, of the subtle energy patterns which you would see in the client or the coachee. And I try and create a space where clients can safely explore their internal landscape beyond just the mental process, because uh, most of the coaching sessions are just about the thoughts, about the emotions. But when you turn the compass inward, the internal landscape really gets more deeper. So it's beyond your mental process. And in the energy coaching, the discovery process involves noticing where the energy feels contracted versus where they are feeling more expansive. So that is again a discovery, which happens as part of your energy coaching. So there are certain areas in our body where we would feel contracted when we are thinking of certain aspects, but there are certain areas of our body where we would feel expansive, and that feeling of energy gives you a lot of understanding of that person's situation, problem, the kind of solution they're trying to seek, or the kind of a root cause which they're trying to get into. And this also deepens their awareness naturally by broadening a lot of possibilities, because we are accessing in that space the wisdom which is beyond the analytical mind. So energy is beyond that, concrete intelligence, beyond that analytical intelligence. It's more about abstract, which is unknown. Like you said, a lot of people may feel it's Greek and Latin. It's in the same way. A lot of the times the words don't speak. There is a lot of unsaid things behind those words, and that's where energy coaching really comes in play.
Yeah, so I'm getting a sense of it because I remember meeting one of my peer coaches, and she introduced herself. I got to know her like she's a healer. So it was this term first, hit my vocabulary for the first time, and I've been being a logical person. This is out of my zone of understanding, but having been in the coaching industry for last 5 years, I've met healers, and I would say a certain percentage I can know I can put myself around them. I won't say completely, definitely not, but yes, I have a good a better understanding, I would say, of what kind of work you do. So I predominantly put you guys in the zone of magicians. You can create magic. There's no logic behind that, and that is possible with you guys. So tell me a little bit about, like, as you were talking about the landscape, no, when you say the compasses goes inside, and as you explore the landscape. So how do you justify your tagline, discover yourself, when you in
Yeah.
your practice? So tell me about that.
Well, this tagline is very close to me because that is something which came as part of my own discovery of my life. So I think this tagline is primarily something which will resonate with anybody and everybody, because beneath our conditioned patterns, right, there always lies our authentic energy signature. Like, just to give an example, right, I may have been in corporate for so many years, trying to do a lot of logical work, lot trying to do a lot of things which is methodological and all of this. But innately, my energy has always been more creative, more people oriented. So that is my authentic energy, right? And
Yes.
each one of us have such kind of authentic energies inside us. And to discover this authentic energy, we need to understand certain patterns inside us. And certain times we can only discover those patterns when we try and clear the energy blocks. Because once we clear the energy blocks, we naturally align with our deeper purpose, our
Mm,
value system of what we hold. And energy awareness obviously helps us distinguish between the true desires versus the socially conditioned ones. Sometimes people are pressured under the fact of socially conditioned, culturally conditioned, environmentally conditioned, family conditioned. So all of these things put certain patterns on which all of us run on an autopilot mode. But when you're truly aware of your inner landscape, and you truly distinguish, that is when you will understand what is your true desire as a soul, versus uh, you have been trying to do certain things just to please the society. And that's where the tagline comes, like that: high help discover yourself. Because in a space, I may not be giving solution to my coachee. I may not be giving a solution to my client, because that's not a coach's work. But I will help navigate themselves so that they can discover themselves and their true purpose. And this will help them to reflect in the process of uncovering their authentic energy blueprint. So it's a very beautiful work, and it's beautiful to see how it all unveils, uncovers, and so many things come out and surface, and they really discover smaller aspects of themselves in each session. So that's something beautiful.
yes, I can. I'm getting a sense of it as we are speaking for the last 10 minutes. 10 minutes, and I just want to tell people, like, those who have tuned in live or maybe watching replay. Like, we are talking about two different ways of transformation that is available for a person. So we are talking about coaching, as well as what Anushree is talking about is the energy work she does, and how she can help in a different landscape we are talking about. So moving on, I can completely relate to what you are saying. Like, I remember as a child I always wanted to be a doctor. So I know, as a service provider, I had that. No, I will be serving people, was in my background. I would be, even in fact, to be more clear, pain relief. The doctor's injection दे के pain गायब हो जाता है. So it's a relief work I will be doing. So, but I got into engineering. And I remember when I was in my computer lab, and I was like, this is not I wanted.
Yeah.
I could, when you said, no, there is an authentic energy blueprint, you can say, like, I really wanted to work with people. And I think that's the reason I'm here today. I chose to quit my job, choose education, come back, and this completely aligns the kind of work I do, and completely fulfills me
Yeah.
in terms of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, so I when as you were speaking, I could relate to that. So you talked about the blocks in between. So, what are those blocks, and how does that show up in your professional life?
Yeah, so like energy blocks often are present in, like as I mentioned, like patterns, and these patterns comes within each one of us due to certain preconceived ideas, inside us in a person's life. And the same challenge keeps appearing in different contexts. So if you see a person uh, get the same pattern in their relationships, they could, feel the same pattern in their way they manage their finances, the same pattern in their workplace, the same pattern in the day, the way they deal with their body. So a pattern is something which exists predominantly, and this pattern is primarily the base of the energy block. Some of the common blocks which I can think of right now is, and which is very commonly available to most of us, and that's where we all operate from most of the time, is fear, right? So, fear based decision making, people pleasing behaviors, perfectionism, and, sometimes even imposter syndrome. All of these are certain blocks. So imposter syndrome comes again when you boil down. Sometimes it roots down or it boils down because of poor self-esteem, uh, lack of self-confidence, right? Just to give a couple of examples, it depends people to people, situation to situation, but these are the kind of blocks which we are talking here about. And these blocks have primarily energy signatures, which I call in my language, that can be detected and transformed as well, right? But the first step to all of this is to create a space to notice these patterns, right? Without judgment. The key word is without judgment. And to acknowledge that, hey, I have this problem, I'm aware of it, and I accept that I have this problem. And that comes from a standpoint of no judgment, a space where there is no judgment, a space where there is no criticism. And when all of this happens, sometimes the energy blocks really go away, in a wink of state, because the true way for the energy block to go away, just I'm just putting it in a single word, but it's not, that easy. It's a process in itself, is when you have a deeper acceptance of it, right? And when you truly acknowledge that I have this and I want to let go of this. That is something about energy blocks which we all have, and how do we navigate through it?
Yeah, I know this is like something you can't, tangibly pick and show people. Like, I understand it has to, you need to be ready to explore, and it all starts with the awareness level. How, as you said, no, non-judgmental way of looking at yourself and really being available to accept. So it's a discovery completely. If we start talking about it, it cannot be like explained in, in words, or no, and it depends person to person's level of, a capacity to be self-aware as we speak, right? So moving on, I really want to know, like, if like people may be starting to relate what we are speaking already. So if you have any techniques or practices that you would like to suggest that they can get aware of their own energy, what kind of practices or techniques would you like to suggest?
Well, that's a good question, Ranjini. Yeah, I can give up some simpler ones, which is easy to do maybe. The first one, which I usually suggest anyone, is the body awareness practice, right? When I'm speaking about, I'm just not talking about, yes, definitely the physical body, but I'm also talking about, people can actually go and Google after this conversation if people are not aware of this jargons. But beyond our physical body, we also have something called as an energy body, which is sometimes also noted as aura. And then you have emotional body, and then you have mental body, right? So being aware of our body. So if you can do this body awareness practice, what does it mean? It means set aside 2 to 3 minutes ideally, at the same time each day, preferably in the morning, and start from the top of your head. Close your eyes and, start from the top of your head and just be aware of all the regions of your body. From your head, slowly move down to your forehead, your nose, your tip of your tongue, through the throat, move from your, the thorax region to your navel, further down towards your perineum, and just until your feet. Just see what kind of sensation your body is trying to say. There's a lot of things which our body is trying to say. not only our physical body, our emotional body as well, and our mental body as well, right? And while you do this body awareness thing, you would see and you will notice that certain areas of our body in physical level have certain stress, certain tension, kind of a tension in the body, heaviness sometimes. Some part is just very light, very subtle, and you would also feel certain times certain vibration even without even trying, to do something. So don't change anything in your body. Just relax it the way you are, and notice. You may feel certain aspects of what I just mentioned, and pay particular attention towards your shoulders, your chest, your stomach, because these are some common areas where you would find most of the stress or the tension is stored, basically, even back of your neck,
Hmm.
right? And this is when you will discover that these tensions are existing in my system. So when you discover wherever your tension is, for example, you're being aware and you scan through your entire body, and you're aware of these tensions, simply do certain deep breathing and focus on that area with awareness that I have this stress or tension or whatever heaviness in my body.
Hmm.
And basically, just release, and you just say that I just let go of the stress and this tension in my body. Now, this will take some time for you to practice and to get aware of, but once you get a hang of it, you
Hmm.
will notice certain patterns between certain situations. So maybe if you came back from an office meeting and you had a stressful day, the next day morning you would see a certain pattern. Versus you went to a party and you came back the next day morning, you will see a pattern, right? So you will get a hang of your own energy, basically, right? So this is something which I suggest, which is body awareness technique.
Hmm.
Uh, the next would be energy check-in, right? Which is very critical, and I think each one of should really follow. Which is before going into any important meetings, calls, any decision explicitly, signing some important papers, pause for 30 seconds.
Hmm.
Pause for 30 seconds and ask yourself, what energy am I bringing into this situation, right? And notice if you're operating from a reactive state, which is of anxiety, frustration, people pleasing, or a state where you're with yourself. There is a lot of harmony within you, there's a lot of inner peace within you. That itself will explain what energy are you going to carry in that situation, and choose intentionally what energy would better serve that situation. Now, if you're going into a meeting where your presentation or your decision making is going to make an impact over a number of people, I'm sure each one of us want to go with a lot of peace, a lot of harmony, a lot of uh, rigor in what we are doing in our work, right? So that is the intention which we need. But if we enter the meeting with a state of anxiety, with a state of frustration, then we are carrying that energy into the meeting. So we can expect something which is going to resonate with what we are carrying. So now, when we do this, this innately creates a gap between our stimulus, which is naturally there, versus the kind of response which we are choosing to give. So
Yeah.
this gap of our stimulus and the response, that 30, 40 seconds, is the gap where the transformation happens. And that transformation happens because there is an awareness. Now, when you start making it part of your routine, right, and you anchor it in your common activities, like even before checking in an important email or sending out an important email or entering into a room, this practice will start building a amazing energy flexibility in your system, and
Hmm.
the ability to shift the state consciously. The word consciously is very important here, because most of the times we are unconsciously doing a lot of things in an autopilot mode. So you will be in control of your energy, you will be consciously making those changes for yourself.
This is beautiful. Like it's like pretty hands-on thing what you shared. Both the first one, where where we can allow the tension in our body to let go or release it,
Yeah,
and being in charge and regulating, and choosing the energy with which you want to approach the situation is
I
so
have one more
beautiful.
important one, is if that's okay, Ranjini, to
Yeah,
add.
sure.
This is something which I find which has really helped me. Okay, so This is called this I name it as energy environment awareness. When I say environment awareness, it's like noticing how different physical spaces affect your energy. Like if you go to a mall,
Hmm.
see how you feel. Now,
Yeah.
versus you go to a sacred place, it could be a temple, your place of a prayer room in your home, it could be a church, or it could be just a meditation room. Check what your energy is, right? Check your energy when you're going into a hospital. Check your energy when you're traveling in traffic. Check your energy when you're going into a friend's place where you feel really comfortable. Check
Hmm.
your energy when you're going to your mom's place, your loved one's spaces, versus the places where you really don't find, things to be great. So that is something you really need to notice how your physical spaces really work with your energy. Then also identify people who energize you versus those drain you. This is very important. Like you must have got on a call and you must have spent like 15, 20 good minutes. And end of the call, some calls you really feel energetic, happier, more enthusiastic, like I'm going to go to get the world done. Versus there are certain calls where you would get in and like, oh my god, I'm so strained, I'm like so low. So understand that pattern of people around you. This will give you a good understanding of what is your environment of people where you are, and that's where you have to make your own choices. And then create small energy bases in your own home and workplace. I believe this in very strongly, and I say this to my clients and coaches, because each one of us need to have a small energy basis in our house, which is harmonizing, rooting, anchoring, grounding us, giving us a lot of peace, because these are the spaces which we all need to hold on to. And this will give us a lot of positivity when we start our day, or maybe in the middle of days. And also be intentional about the media you consume. This is the most important thing, because the kind of media each one of us consume have the kind of energy impact with each. So you may choose to see a certain series on Netflix or any other platform out there. Choose what you want, because what we see, what we hear, what we wherever we are using our sense organs, we're going to consume that, and that's the kind of energy we are going to attract. And practice energetic boundaries before entering into any kind of draining situations. If you know this conversation is going to be quite hectic, draining, try and conserve your energy, try and make a choice. Yeah.
Good. That like you've given us a lot to maybe as a takeaway in this live session. Like there are many things, and fundamentally I would say this all would help you the more you practice self-awareness. You can learn, you can take these techniques, but your ability to use it effectively will depend on how self-aware you are. So if you haven't got started, just get started with what Anushree has just shared. So, moving on, Anushree, I want to know like how this kind of energy awareness helps leaders, in an environment, an organization where they're handling teams and create more impact, or maybe bring more productivity and performance around. So, how do you know this education can help leaders?
That's a very apt question. Yeah, I think leaders primarily need this awareness primarily, because leaders are the energy conductors, right? Like they are the transformers. Like you have the electricity transformer in different areas, and then you further step down, and that energy goes into different
Yeah.
apartments, and it goes to different houses. In the same way, leaders are the energy conductors for their teams, right? For their organizations, or the kind of cohorts which they're managing. Now imagine if they as leaders have this energy awareness, which allows the leaders to create psychologically safe environments where innovation will thrive, where there is no anxiety, where there is no stress, where there is no pinpointing, when there is no blaming, right? How beautiful psychological safe environment each leader can create, right? And as a leader, they will also be able to understand their own energy patterns, because as I mentioned, what we carry is what we give to others in a meeting room or in a team, right? In the same way, as a leaders, they'll be able to understand their own energy patterns, which is preventing their unconscious projection onto the team member. They may not be even aware of it. Subconsciously, it's just happening on an autopilot mode. Only the person who is receiving sometimes, and the people around them may be seeing this or may not be even witnessing this. But once they're aware of this, they'll be able to see what kind of pattern do they really bring when the stream is in stress, when the team was unable to deliver something. How do they react? Do they react or do they respond? Right? So they'll be able to be aware of themselves. And as a leaders, energy consciousness leadership will also help them to lead more sustainable performance without giving burnout, not only for themselves, but also to their teams. So they will really know how to manage. And as I said in the starting, they'll get the key to transmute even if something is not right. So the word transmute really will help them to uh, manage their organizations and their teams.
Yes. So this is the magic, a pill or kind of a recipe that you have, that the a full bag of secrets you have, and I want to know, Anushri, like I have really enjoyed, as I'm speaking with you, learning, and maybe I set the intention that I will learn today from you. So you've shared so much. I want to know, like, what are the services that you offer? If someone wants to work with you, how do they connect with you? So, no, tell us a little more about that.
Sure, Ranjini. So they can reach out definitely to me over LinkedIn. They can DM me, and my contact information is out there. So for me, primarily, I try and create a coaching space. I work one on one. I also work for group coaching for corporates. Uh, in one on one, the area is more broader for them to delve deeper and for them to resonate with their own self. So one on one coaching is something which I offer. And my coaching, as I said, has an approach of energy. So there is a lot of tools which I provide them to self equip themselves. And the space is again a place where a lot of awareness surfaces. And that is again a very safe space where not only a coaching happens, but there's a lot of change in their innate way of thinking, their perspectives, the way they have been looking at a situation also transmutes and changes. So that's what I offer, and I love doing that. And I also try and make them aware that how learning energy healing can also help them in a long run in their life. So yeah, so that's the kind of a thing. So for me, it's one-on-one coaching, group coaching, team coaching. I also conduct workshops based on certain requests, based on certain situations in the corporates or any kind of a scale of an organization. And yeah, I also do some of the speaker sessions where I take certain smaller workshops just to bring certain awareness in them.
Wonderful. So, all of those who are looking to explore this line of education, where how you can use energy healing and the secrets that Manashri has shared, and how you can empower yourself and becoming a better version, and discovering yourself, you know in the energy landscape in Anushri's language. So you can reach out to her on LinkedIn and DM, or she's available. You will find her in the description of this live. And thank you so much, Anushri, for spending this half hour with me and sharing so much. What will be your final message to the viewers?
First of all, before I say that, Ranjini, thank you so much for hosting this. Thank you for creating a platform for all the entrepreneurs out there and making this possible for a lot of people. So kudos to you for the work which you're doing.
Thank you.
Great going, and I'm sure you have pivoted that in a compass and you're doing what you love doing, right?
Yes.
So great. And I also really want to thank to my pranic healing school, because whatever I have learned there has been really great. My mentors, my coaches who have brought me where I am today, I really want to thank them. And my parting line for today in this live stream would be: turn that inner compass. Start being aware of who you are. Question yourself, What am I really? What are the kind of masks each one of us are wearing? So just have one question: who am I really? Am I really that authentic self? So question that, and that will bring a lot of awareness in yourself.
A very good place to start. Thank you so much, and I look forward to more conversation like these. We can dive deeper,
Sure.
area wise, and personality wise, and keep exploring this. So
Sure.
thank you so much. I look forward to meet you in my future sessions, and good luck. Take care.
Thank you. Thanks, Ranjini, and all the best to you as well. Thank you.